On my way back from the Meadows to Ohio, man, long day today. This is the time of year, especially days like today. It's just beautiful weather. It's not warm, but it's not cold. And a nice sunny day to get the babies out in the track and watch them all going. I get enamored with them very, very quickly. I'm very pleased with the way the horses have been breaking and coming along. You know, I have to remind our help sometimes that these are animals, and these are horses that may have come out of a field, may have come out of a very polished barn, or may not have. Don't take for granted that they're all going to be paint by numbers. They're all going to, we're going to bring them in, brush them up, put a harness on them. They're going to flip out for a minute. Then you're going to put their bridle on, or their tongue tie. You're going to go out and jog them, or I'm going to go out and jog them, and all will be great. For the most part, that's how it happens. That doesn't mean you should take that for granted. And 2 days ago, they told me they were breaking a couple of the horses. One of the horses flipped out and almost decapitated one of our caretakers, which troubles me because for twofold. I know the feeling. Listen, I'm no stupidity is not lost on me. I have a black belt. I have done many stupid things in my life, and thinking that I can force a 900 to 1,000 pound animal to listen to me the first day that we've met, right up there, some of the dumbest things you can do. And I've done it. You have to almost build a rapport. It may come in minutes, it may come in hours, it may come in days. But you have to be able to build a rapport where the horse either trusts you or listens to you. Anywhere in between, you need to be aware. You need to be careful. It was just one of those things, and the horse was Stay Charming. So Stay Charming, I thought, was very polite at the sale and behaved himself. And I probably would have done exactly what they did. Except I had a couple of years ago a run-in with Manhattan Money, if you remember. Another horse. He had a very low boiling point. And what I mean by that was he would put up with you for about 5 minutes, and then he would almost attack. But when he through his front feet, it wasn't get away from me. It was, here, take one of these and have one for the way home also. Or as it turns out, almost to the way to the hospital. He just missed my head with a left hook, and if not for being a poor boxer, I might have woken up with people around me. And these are unfortunately, I'm one of those people that have to learn the hard way sometimes. And I almost did. And it stuck with me. I got kicked. That filly last year kicked me, or a couple of years ago also kicked me. You're going to get kicked. If you're around horses, you're going to get kicked. If a horse wants to kick you, more times than not, you are going to get struck. That's the way it is. But you have to know which ones are going to kick you and which ones aren't. And the quiet ones, like Stay Charming, like Manhattan Money, be on alert. Anyway, luckily nobody got hurt. I got there and they're like, Anthony, this horse is crazy. Can you do something about him, please? We can't catch him. He broke his halter. He almost struck Cordon. And Jason said he knocked him over. I went in the stall, and it only took me a couple of minutes to realize he's not a dirty horse. He's just very terrified, scared, very, very timid. Just go easy. Kid gloves. It took me about 15 minutes. I got the halter on him, put him on the cross ties, brushed him. He was very scared. And he is a big boy. So I just left him alone, got him a flake of hay, told him just only I touch this horse for the next 2 days, please. I don't want anybody going in a stall, screwing around with him. Certainly don't try and be a hero. This guy is not playing around. I'll deal with him. Mr. Clarkson comes down, wants to see the horse. I give him the whole story I just gave you. It's just going to take me a couple of days. Just let me build a rapport with him. It's going to take a couple of days, and he'll be fine. I hope. I only remember this because somebody had sent me a message and said, how's Stay Charming? I just bought a share at Stay Charming. How is he? And yesterday, we just brushed him. Put him on the cross ties, brushed him. Gave him some hay, left him alone. Today I went in the stall. He let me catch him right away. Had his halter on, brushed him. It was about 11:30. and I had to, no, it was about 10:30. I had to leave at 11 o'clock to get to the meadows at the time. I was starting later. I went in, brushed him up as I said. I said, you know what? I'm going to put the harness on him. He let me put the harness on him. Usually when you guys know if you've ever broke a horse, as soon as you cinch that girth up, it's game on. You better have an escape plan for that stall if you're in the stall. I cinch the girth up, I step back, I drop the cross ties. Usually they'll buck a bit, they might kick, they might throw themselves, squeal a bit, but they get over it quite quickly. He actually didn't do that bad. He didn't flip out that bad at all. I left him alone for 5-10 minutes. I came back, put him back on the cross ties, put his bridle on him, looked at my watch. We got about 15 minutes. I said, Amy, can you come out and video this colt? She goes, are you crazy? I said, yeah, you can play it at my funeral. I said, I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay. And that was the thing, is that any of those horses that are acting up, I want them at the front of the barn also to see the traffic all day, to see what is going on. If you've been around horses, you know they're smart animals, a lot of them. And this guy's not stupid. He watched every horse in that barn go in and out of the door all day long. All day long. He went out the door today. He acted up for a second, and there wasn't a lot of people left. There's not much traffic left on the track, and usually now you got Northfield that is a wide enough half-mile track. It's all fenced on the outside. There's a pond that's fenced in on the inside. But more times than not, if a horse goes to take off, as long as you can keep them in the middle of the track. Timid horses are dangerous, but they also tire themselves out pretty quick. This guy didn't do a thing wrong. Went out on the track, hit the pace, and jogged 2 laps on the pace. I have a video of it. I'll post it for you guys later on. I've just been running around, and it didn't dawn on me until right now when I was doing the video that I had this video and had posted it to you. So Stay Charming did his work great. And History Hanover, you can't, a lot of times you can see that blue blood in the horses real quick. The horses that are well-bred, super classy, you can tell right away. He went out, he has got the slickest gait you could ever imagine. And his only hiccup was he went off the track on Amy. There's nothing worse than that. I'd rather take a horse that would kick when you're breaking them or do anything, lay down. That's the worst habit. You know, if you've ever watched us go with the horses, I make everybody turn the horse at the gate. Don't go right off the track. Stop, turn them around, and walk them off the track. I've said it a bunch of times, and Jack Darling is the one that showed me that. I worked for him like a bazillion years ago. For a very short time. That's one thing I always tried to do when I was a kid, was work for the smartest people I could. Jack Darling was on that list in Windsor. I wasn't there a long time, I don't think, but he was a very kind man, and I learned a lot from him, whether he knows it or not. But this was the biggest takeaway, because as a driver, there's nothing worse than a horse will run off a track. The reason being, when a horse decides to do something, you can't change that horse's mind. And running off the track, it's just about the worst thing in the world. But a lot of the babies will look at the gates. They'll veer towards the gates. So I said, we're going to nip that in the bud. I said, you know what, I'm just going to put a telescope bridle on him, Murphy blind outside, he can't see the gates. Jog him for a couple weeks like that. It won't be a problem ever again. As I say this out loud, there's a voice in my head saying, where do you think you're going to get the telescope bridle? Where are you going to get somebody to build a time machine and go back to 1984 and get one? For those of you who may or not know, telescope bridle is just like that, right? It's just a circle. Not a lot of people who use them. So horse can't look around the bridle, put a Murphy blind on the outside, so he also can't see, because I'm going the jogging way, obviously. Kept him down to the inside. He never once offered to do it. Not one time. And I wasn't surprised. It just I wasn't going to ever give him the option to do it again. And he was very polite, as you can imagine. Very nice horse, a very happy horse. I think they called him Herbie in the barn. So as you can tell after talking to you for 10 minutes, this is my favorite time of year in the sense that, one, I love the fall, but two, I get very enamored with the horses and the way they break, the way they act. I got a lot of respect for Stay Charming. There's a horse that wasn't mean, wasn't nasty, terrified, very timid. When we brought him back in, they went to bath him, and he did throw his front feet. But again, it was more of that get away from me rather than, take one of these home. Anyway, he jogged great today. The horses I went with were good. The horses that we've been going with from the Ohio sale are earlier in Lexington, are the slick-gated ones. I've asked the guys just to move them along a little bit, certainly nowhere near any sort of speed of any kind, just not that first gear jogging speed. Turn them, go both ways of the track, maybe for a quarter of a mile, let them stretch out a little bit, and then walk them off a little bit and jog them back. And that's kind of what we do. We'll do that from now till Christmas. I want to be a little more proactive this year than last. I want to reach out to Kelly and Curtis, John and Sean and everybody and ask about what their thoughts are on a Christmas open house. I don't want to have it close to Christmas this year. I'd like to have it like the first or second week in December if we could. Makes more sense to me. Just felt better. Want to get a sense of who wants to come out. I'd like to get some more exposure, whether it be in this state or any states, a little more exposure on and in Canada for that matter. But I'm just really excited about what I've seen with the babies today. Now, for those of you waiting for the racehorse update, I apologize. You had to wait 12 minutes and listen to me ramble on about 2 colts. Today, we still have 3 horses to race. We have Woodmere Flojo. I got to reach out to the Flojo group and let them know. Still, her AST was a little high when she arrived in Ontario. And I shouldn't say that. They schooled her, and her AST was a little high 4 days ago. So, no, I can't say definitively she arrived with a high AST, but she did ship 20 hours, so she could have. But it was a little higher a few days ago. Well within manageable levels, but enough to say she's probably not 102% tonight. I'd say somewhere around 90, 95. Maybe a little short, so maybe 85 or 90. But she's in to go tonight, a fresh face for the barn. I've never seen her, don't know Woodmere Flojo. But we'll see how she races tonight. Gorgeous packages in tonight. I might swap horses with Jason over there in Ontario because we can't keep sending this filly on the track at double digits, and I'm worried that's exactly what you're going to see again tonight. So this may be her last foray in the Great White North. Nobody's fault, it's just the way it is, and you just got to send a horse that they can do now, not one that might do or the class might fill. And then maybe this is the only class she fits, I have no idea. And if she goes out and does well tonight, great. It's awesome. We'll see what happens tonight with her. She races against another new face of ours, Lady Hess. All these horses supposedly trained well the other day. Woodmere Betcha is here also. She's in to go on Monday. Supposedly she schooled well. If they can't do it in Ontario, they'll do it in Ohio or Pennsylvania, I'm sure. But my first choice would be Ontario. We'll see how they do. And then, of course, tomorrow will be the last start of the year for one of the best horses we had in 2025. That is Perfect Thought. Another one of the best horses we've raced in 2025 is our Age Doors. Time is on my side. He races tomorrow in Dayton. So today, in the afternoon, I made my way over to the Meadows. I was racing Neptune, 3-point Blue Chip, and Captain Incredible, all with pretty decent odds. Neptune picked to win. The only horse that could probably beat him was the horse from the outside, the horse that did beat him. And I was a little frustrated. I just didn't get away from the gate as well as I wanted to with Neptune. I got away in the 3-hole. Jim Panliano beat me to the punch and got to the front, let Sand Between My Toes go. Now, I don't want the long shot in between me and the only horse that can beat me. I'm going to have to put him on the front. I don't like him as good on the front, but I'm not going to be first over into Sand Between My Toes with Neptune. And I don't think I can sit behind a 60-1 shot, so I had to quarter pole. I didn't even wait till the quarter. I moved him clear to the front. As I was going past Brady, I said, "You can come back around if you want," to which he declined. He was exactly where he wanted to be. Sat on my bumper and get up the inside, beat me. Sand between my toes, raced in the open many, many, many times. If I'm not mistaken, I think I drove that horse once this year. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up with another horse. I don't know. If it's a horse I'm thinking of, I won with him anyway. Anyway, he beat me fair and square, raced good, and Neptune raced really well. 3-point blue chip, I'll be the first to admit, he's a shell of the horse he was. You know, it's not really a heartbreaking story. The horse had an incredible 2-year-old season. We had massively high hopes for him, training him back not far before the Hambletonian. He breaks his coffin bone. Put a screw in his coffin bone. He missed, I think he qualified once or raced once as a 3-year-old, missed his entire 4-year-old season for the most part. We brought him back, had a pretty good year last year. I should say a pretty good year this year. Last year into this year? Yeah, last year into this year. He'd hitting that left jack and high shin area a little harder than he used to. It was a problem throughout the summer. We'd arrest him, bring him back. And we have egg bars on him behind. For sure, they're slowing him down a little bit. And quite frankly, the difference between 154 and 3, which would be a win, and 156 and a piece, which is 4th and 5th, is very little. Not much at all. I just don't think we can get the egg bars off him right now. I don't think it would be a wise decision. And, you know, butchered him last week. I got parked the whole way, and it was going to happen again today. And, you know, I owe Jim Panliano a thanks. I didn't know who it was until I watched the replay. He let me in the hole. And if he had to get parked the whole way again, oh my God almighty. Wow. I just need to do a better job not taxing him at all at the gate, trying to get us into a good position, an attacking position, and hope that he comes back to life. He's not far off of the horse he was, but far enough. I talked to Tom, I talked to Mr. Grossman in Harrisburg about him. Just one of those what ifs. What if he hadn't broke that foot? How good could a 3-point blue chip be? We'll never know. Hopefully he comes back around. But that wasn't super disappointing. That was more of an extension of the last couple of weeks. He went from, hey, this guy's sitting on a win, to, oh my God, what have I done? But he'll come back around. To what extent, I don't know. He will get that bunch at some point. Captain Incredible was terrible today. Terrible. I've never seen him as bad as last 2 starts. On his last start, he was sick. Stands to reason that that's why he raced bad. He was full of mucus. Today, been off 2 weeks, but just never had any life to him at all. He just looks a little less defined too. Maybe just the winter starting there, like the fall coat. You see that on the horses sometimes. I don't know what it was, but as I said to Tim, you can't race him like that again. He won't race next week. I want to make sure that this horse is coming back to the horse he was. I don't know where the regression came from. He's never shown it in his life. But it's real. I'm not super concerned. I don't think, one start when he was sick and 1 flat mile followed up with 2 weeks off really is enough to alert the press about. I don't think he's falling apart or getting bad, but he wasn't good today. So we just have to look at the math behind what was Captain Incredible. What happened today, and how can we prevent it from happening again? That's it. So we'll get to it. So Neptune was great. 3-point blue chip was okay, and Captain Incredible was not. Woodmere Flojo races in about an hour. Gorgeous Package races an hour after that. And Lady Hess is in the same race tomorrow. We race time is on my side. Perfect Thought, Foxy Seaside on Sunday. What are the odds on Foxy? 7-1. And then Winter Soldier, Woodmere Betcha, and Rock Shining Star on Monday. There you have it. That's today in a nutshell. I'm still, as I said, taking my time. Be home in a little while. the rest of the night off. But just really happy with what I saw from the babies today. And that Stay Charming horse, he just kind of, so often you see a horse that just you got a lot of respect for, and he doesn't strike me as a dirty horse, just a horse that was scared. And for him to go from terrified 2 days ago to allowing me to jog him today by himself says a lot about his intelligence. Might have a little bit to say about mine too. Anyway, I ended off my day, being that a-hole big brother. Justin Irvine is sitting on 999 wins, and I was kind of razzing him all day. Every so often you'll have a milestone approaching, and it just feels like you're never going to get there, ever. And there's nothing you can do about it. You go on the track trying to win rather than going on the track trying to drive. It doesn't appear to have affected him that much in that regard. I don't think he drove any horses bad. He drove a lot good, actually. He's a great young driver. He's got a good set of hands. I love the fact that, is somebody over twice his age, I believe, that there's kids, there are kids in the game. Him and Tyler, a number of the other young kids around here trying to ply their trade. We do need an awful injection of youth into this game, and to see that kid doing good it's good. It's good for the game. It's good for racing. It's good for him too. Good family, good kid, and he'll get his 1,000th. I might tease him a lot. Told him to maybe put his win on his list to Santa. We were going behind the gate. Tell you what, 5 brothers I grew up with, you cannot show any vulnerability. It's like the yard, general population. You can't show your vulnerabilities. If I know that something's going to bother you, I'm going to find a way to dig it into you a little bit. That's just me being me, but good kid, and he's going to get his 1,000th win. I know it's weighing on him a little bit, but he'll get there. So today was a so-so day on the track, a fantastic day at the barn, and looking forward to tomorrow. Perfect Thought closing out her 2025 season. Looking forward to Time Is On My Side in Dayton again. Love to see another good race from him. He's been such a nice horse for us. Close out the week with Foxy. Like to see another good race from her. And then Winter Soldier, Betcha, Rock Shining Star, and then we do it all over again next week. So there you have it. A lot going on at the barn as always. Good luck to my partners tonight with Woodmere Flojo. Get a chance to see Flojo tonight for the first time. Gorgeous package, and Lady Hess. Take care, everybody. I will get you updated tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, so we get your videos on tap. Got my days all screwed up. It doesn't feel like a Friday today. It's weird. Anyway, take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Take care. We'll talk to you all very soon.